So who was your favorite character on the popular 1960s TV show Lost in Space? Hi everybody, Steve here in Mission Hills, California, and I'm sitting in my car just outside the front gates of the San Fernando Mission Cemetery, and the wind is just howling outside, so I'm forced to do this video inside my car. If you said your favorite character was the robot, then you'll be happy to know that I'm here to visit one of the two actors who played the robot on the series. Bob May is laid to rest right here inside the front gates, and I believe from the instructions on his Find a Grave Memorial page, he's on the right-hand side just right before you get to the mausoleum. So we'll see in just a few minutes as soon as the gates open. And the actor who played the voice of the robot is Dick Tufeld, and he's laid to rest at Mount Sinai Memorial Park, which is in the Hollywood Hills, not that far from here, maybe 15 minutes away or so. So I'm going to head over there next, but first I'm hoping to find the gravesite of actor Bob May. During the past few years, a few of you have asked me to visit the cast member gravesites from Lost in Space, and I actually have visited one of the other actors probably a year or two ago, and I've just been holding on to that visit until I could find some of the other cast members, and so that's what I'm hoping to do today. Bob May's gravesite is supposed to be right here in Section T, and his Find a Grave Memorial page does have a GPS, and here it is now. It helps that this is a small section too. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and the sun has just come up, and Bob May's gravesite right here, as you can see, is in shade. And so it's pretty cold. It's December, and I'm going to show you all the Christmas trees and all the Christmas decorations in this section. It's pretty cool. It really looks like Christmas here. Bob May died from congestive heart failure in Lancaster, California on January 18, 2009 at the age of 69. Lost in Space aired from 1965 to 1968, and watching it as a kid, I don't know if it ever occurred to me that there was actually an actor inside of the robot bringing it to life. I think I just assumed that it was electronically activated and animated. I haven't really seen the show since it aired back in the 1960s, but I happened to catch an episode the other day, and it really did make me laugh, but probably for all the wrong reasons. Again, as a kid, I never realized how low budget and cheesy it actually was, and the set decorations looked like they were straight out of a high school play. We sure were innocent back then, and I guess 55 years later, that just adds to the nostalgia and fun of the show. The concept of the show, though, was great and pretty timeless. It was based on the Swiss Family Robinson book that was written back in the 1800s. Only this time the family was stranded in outer space instead of on a deserted island. I'm so glad I found May's gravesite today. Even though he was never seen, his character really made the show. Now I'm going to head 16 miles southeast to Mount Sinai Memorial Park in the Hollywood Hills. This is a Jewish cemetery, and this is where the voice of the robot, actor and announcer Dick Tufeld, is laid to rest. Once you enter through the front gates, you just drive straight up to the top of the hill to the Gardens of Heritage, which you'll see on the right-hand side. You can't miss the beautiful mural that tells the story of Jewish history here in America. I had to go back to my car. I forgot one of my cameras, and so I put on a different mask. I put on a larger mask, and I think you should be able to hear me a lot better with this mask on. Most of the cemeteries here in Southern California require that you wear masks at all times. And even though it is pretty early here this morning, there are quite a few people around. So as the old saying goes, better safe than sorry. Tufeld's crypt is located within Wall 16, here in the courtyard of the People of the Books. Once you enter the courtyard through the main archway, you walk straight ahead to the back wall, turn right, then walk a short distance until you see his crypt on the left-hand side at eye level. His epitaph reads, "His wit, talent, and voice will never be forgotten." Tufeld died in Los Angeles from congestive heart failure on January 22, 2012 at the age of 85. And it's kind of neat that from his final resting place, you can see Irwin Allen's crypt on the opposite side of the courtyard up on the second story. Allen was the creator of the show, and I'll visit his crypt next. Tufeld worked with Allen on a number of his TV shows, which makes it likely that they were also friends, so it's nice to see that they're laid to rest here so close to each other. Even if you never saw the show, you've probably heard the robot's signature line, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger." It's now a part of American culture. Okay, so I just added a GPS to Dick Tufeld's crypt, which is right here in the People of the Books section of the Garden of the People of the Books. It was a little bit difficult to find, but they're setting up for a funeral service here today, and so one of the guys setting up helped me find it, which he was very nice. Since the series first aired more than 55 years ago, I have to admit that I was a little shocked, but very pleasantly surprised, to learn that many of the cast members are still alive, and most of them are even still working. Irwin Allen, the creator of the show, died from a heart attack in Santa Monica, California on November 2nd, 1991, at the age of 75. He had great success with his 1960s TV shows, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, The Time Tunnel, Land of the Giants, and Lost in Space, but his biggest successes came in 1972 and 1974 with the blockbuster disaster movies The Poseidon Adventure and The Towering Inferno. The Poseidon Adventure won 2 Academy Awards and was the highest-grossing film of 1973. The Towering Inferno was nominated for 8 Academy Awards and won 3, and was the highest-grossing film of 1974. He became known as the Master of Disaster and certainly left behind a lasting legacy. And isn't this a beautiful courtyard? And it looks like one of the funeral services they're having here today is right next to actress Bonnie Franklin's gravesite, which I visited in last week's video. Now I'm going to drive 19 miles southwest of here to Westwood Village Memorial Park, where the next cast member is laid to rest. But before I get to his final resting place, I want to mention one of the other cast members who's no longer with us, but who sadly doesn't have a final resting place to visit. Actor Guy Williams, who played the father of the family, Professor John Robinson, the commander of the Jupiter 2 spaceship, died from a brain aneurysm in Buenos Aires, Argentina on April 30th, 1989, at the age of 65. His ashes were reportedly scattered at sea off the coast of Malibu, California. Before his role on Lost in Space, some of you might also remember that he starred in the TV series Zorro from 1957 to 1959 as Don Diego de la Vega, also known as his masked alter ego Zorro. Actress June Lockhart, who played his wife and the mother on the show, Maureen Robinson, is now 95 years old. You might also remember that she starred in the TV series Lassie and also Petticoat Junction. Her first movie was A Christmas Carol in 1938, and her most recent film was the 2019 Bonji Bear and the Kingdom of Rhythm. During her very long entertainment career, she's appeared in more than 400 movies and TV show episodes. Mark Goddard, who played Major Don West, the second in command of the Jupiter 2, is now 84 years old. Before his role on Lost in Space, he was a regular on 2 other popular TV shows from the 1950s. Do you remember the Johnny Ringo TV series? How about The Detectives? Marta Kristen played Judy Robinson, the oldest daughter of the family, and she's now 75 years old. Angela Cartwright played Penny Robinson, the youngest daughter of the family, and she's now 68 years old. Before her role on Lost in Space, she was a regular on The Danny Thomas Show from 1957 to 1964. In 1965, she played one of the Von Trapp children in The Sound of Music, and most recently in 2019, she appeared in the Netflix TV series reboot of Lost in Space. The final season of the series is scheduled to air this year in 2021. And it's really hard to believe that Billy Mumy, who played Will Robinson, the young son on the show, is now 66 years old. I'm sure many of you will also remember him for his role on the TV show Babylon 5 from 1994 to 1998. Like many of the others, he's had a very long and busy show business career, appearing in more than 400 movies and TV show episodes. And like Cartwright, he also appeared in the Netflix reboot of Lost in Space. He played Dr. Zachary Smith, or Dr. Z, in a nod to Jonathan Harrison's character on the original show. Harris was cremated, and his ashes are interred here in the back wall of the Sanctuary of Devotion courtyard. During his long career, he made more than 500 movie and TV appearances. And before Lost in Space, he was also a regular on 2 other TV shows. He was on The Third Man from 1959 to 1965, and on The Bill Dana Show from 1963 to 1965. He died in Encino, California from a blood clot to the heart on November 3rd, 2002, at the age of 87. And he's interred here right above his wife, who died in 2007. According to his Wikipedia page, his co-star Billy Mumy delivered one of the eulogies at his funeral. And this week I'd like to thank my newest Patreon supporter, Sky Marie. Thanks so much, Sky, for your extra generous donation to my channel. I also want to thank all of you who suggested that I make this trip. I'll list your names in the description section down below this video. Until next time, thanks for sharing the memories, everyone.